I'm tired of these conditions. Remote control reality shows, news steady reminding me of these stressful times, paid programs, get rich schemes, fake political shows playing tricks with my mind. And why my cable provider keep adopting more and more channels. It's a different lifestyle on everyone that my thoughts can't even handle. Do you watch Cribs on MTV and think that you can have it? Or do you feel left out and just watch it as a fantasizing habit? And if I criticize this church show, is y'all gonna say I'm going straight to hell? Well, I guess I'm getting warm because the message I notice is 900 numbers and DVDs for sale. Was the Cosby Show genius or just some artwork that showed black people? Because hell, I grew into Bill when I used to be Theo. My TV and my radio kept sending me to the World Wide Web. Is this the ending or beginning of what mind control lies ahead? I wonder if I Google the future, would it tell me the truth? Because 20 years ago, it wasn't no cell phone or Bluetooth. Or maybe it was. It was just being tested. And now your soul is the next project. Do you feel affected? Idiot box. Rap Talk, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Poetry and Conversations. I am your host, Rap Talk. Rap Talk motivation, Rap Talk poetry. We're going to talk about some trending hip-hop stories. I'm going to get into some spoken word. We're going to have some dialogue, some motivation, speech within the mix of all this. Just a mixture of things, you know. For those new to my channel, just come on in and just enjoy the show, enjoy the motivation, enjoy the speaking. Feel free to always comment, share your thoughts, how you feel. We about positivity over here, but of course, we got to put the candy in the medicine, or the medicine in the candy, as they say. Because y'all know how the streets want it. They want it messy. Y'all know how I go down on these YouTube streets. But we still got to speak on the trending topic, though, as long as it's inclined with hip-hop, because I am a hip-hop baby. And most of my audience all grew up on hip-hop. So I'm pretty sure when you look at the word Rap Talk, these for my new subscribers and new people who tuning in and catching some of these latest videos, and they may see a couple trending topics that's popping off, which is cool. But we're about positivity over here and about motivation. And I really think it's all going to revert back to that pretty soon. I mean, we keep saying it, but it's going to happen sooner or later. Y'all already heard what Ebro said about the music. They tired of hearing the same old thing and the same shit over and over. Now, I ain't gonna say it's gonna go super positive, but it's time for some creativity. And it's time for some messages, people having something to say. So as things move around, you just never know where things can be headed. But we hear that all the time, though. A lot of people are always saying how things need to change, this, that. The messy is the messy. Y'all love it. What's going on in hip hop, though? Let's check on in, chime on in, and see what's popping off. Oh, man. Van Lathan calls Adam 22 a white devil. Oh, man. I don't want to put that in the title. Adore is poetry and conversation. Let's see what the latest of the latest is. Where did this come from? I'm reading this off the source page. The source mad, you know, I'm old school, so I'm still rocking with the source. It says in one of the more recent episodes of No Jumper, Adam 22 discussed his mental health during an interview with TMZ host Van Lathan, who asked the podcaster about his recent behavior. This led to an aggressive convo about Adam's interviews and his recent sit down with, what is it, Ruger? So I guess he did an interview with someone else. Adam defended his gang-based questions against Lathan, who said that Adam asked too many questions about Ruger's gang affiliation. It was revealed that Ruger made a pre-interview request not to answer any such gang-related questioning, but Adam contends that he forgotten that agreement, maintaining his stance that his questions were not to incite beef. Lathan then insinuated that was the reason that Adam 22 could come off like a white devil to some viewers. Wow. Let's check out this little piece. Fair use. We just talking shit. Let me see what they're talking about. Let's see what they're talking about. Fair use portrait.
I'm concerned about you, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I figured this was going to be some sort of intervention.
That's an intervention that's
Fair
happening
use,
right
y'all.
now.
I'm doing better than ever.
How are you doing better than ever?
Mentally, I feel strong. I feel fortified.
Right.
On the mic, doing what I was born to do.
Let me stop it because I ain't going to check out the whole interview and definitely ain't going to play it on my platform, which is growing. So, well, I was basically saying, well, the headline is this, that Van Lathan calls Adam 22 white devil. Now, I'm not sure that he said this actually. Well, did he say it actually to his face in this interview? I wish I had the timestamp on here so I could just go straight to it, but I don't want to play too much of the No Jumper interview. So I don't want to play too much of it, but I know it's about to be some talking, speaking on this. That's one thing about hip hop right now. Matter of fact, somebody put up, it was Doggy Diamonds. I didn't listen to the live stream, but he put up something that, it was one of his episodes, and it had Adam 22. What's all the other guys? I can't even think of all these people right now. But it's basically the main podcasters, and most of them that's talking about hip. It was Vlad too. Vlad was one of them. Vlad, Adam 22. I'm having a brain freeze. But there was a couple others, and they was discussed where he was discussing. Well, definitely in the title and the thumbnail, it had all of these different people that's running the culture right now. That was Doggy take on him. So, Adam 22 is a big factor with his podcast, which is reaching a lot of people. Vlad, of course, reaching a lot of people. Considered culture vultures to some degree. Well, to a big degree, the most. That's where we at with it. Let's be clear, that's where we at with it. So their names have been ringing. And they in the, sorry, excuse me, let me cut this off. The names have been ringing to a big degree as far as definitely not being black, but the head spears of interviewing and culture. Now, we do got podcasts and stuff like that who sit around and talk, but most of the time, they're not interviewing, though, if you notice that, though. Most of these different podcasts that are black, they're not interviewing, but they are sitting up talking, but they're not doing interviews like like Adam 22 or like Vlad is. And I can't think of all their names off the top, but it's definitely those are the ones that's running right now. Were the ones with the big following. But come on in. I'm gonna get into a couple of poem and pieces. I just want to have some fun, talk to my people, poetry and conversations. It's poetry. It's gonna be next level for them. It's gonna be one of the next. One of the next themes that kick off. That's what y'all don't know. Because I've spoken on this a couple of times before. Like, look at what they did, or what they trying to do to comedy. Look what they trying to do to hip hop rap. They're trying to control everything. Well, they already control it. So they already pick and choose who's gonna eat off the shit. So the battle is a thing that's underground, like spoken word. It's like one of the last legs that's standing as far as having free speech. Even though they always want to keep poetry and spoken word underground anyway. But it is room for it in the masses if the people demand it and if it becomes entertaining. Or it can make money, period. That's how all this shit go. Can it make money? That's the bottom line. That's the question. They don't care about shit else. Can we fill up some seats? That's why you have Charleston White being a comedian. I didn't even know he was a comedian. Excuse me. Till I watched that Say Cheese interview, and Charleston White was talking about how he wasn't getting paid. I actually put up a video about that too, from both perspectives. We can elaborate on that again if y'all want to. That's the story that's up semi-trending. Charleston White is always trending though. Charleston White name is definitely heavy. His algorithm is definitely heavy in the black market and in the messy section of YouTube. Definitely ring off bells. And people riding that too. And I get it. I mean, like I say again, everybody got an algorithm. Everybody. It's just some bigger than others. And definitely with these trending stories, can catch a wave, just put your 1-2 on it. Like what I'm doing, I'm putting the poetry on it, I'm putting the spoken word on it, putting the motivation on it. Like I said again, you put the medicine in the candy. That's what Tupac did. That's what Nas did. All the people you grown and respect, that's what they did. You have to give it to them in their language. As long as the message is received and it don't get clouded by the fog and the bullshit, you can get your point across. That's the way things go. That's the way things move. That's just the nature of the business. At the end of the day, it's about revenue. It's about who can be a moneymaker. That's business 101. Anyway, let me get into a poem and piece since we talking poetry. I'm gonna do this piece I wrote called Entitlement. I gotta start digging in my crates, not my crates. I'm talking about digging in my crates. I'm about to start digging in my notebooks a little bit more and gathering older poems or just more of a variety. I noticed in a couple of these lives, I kind of been recycling some of the same ones, just drilling it to you. But even though the message is still clear, but I have so many. I guess because every time I put the booklets down or the notebooks down, it'd be those same couple of poems that's on top. And most of the time, if I'm moving and grooving and handling some other business, by the time I make it to the crib to do the live and I set up, I'm looking at basically got the same poems and piece that I left off on from the last episode. So, but I'm gonna definitely dig into some more for y'all. But definitely stay motivated. That's what we're about. But I'm gonna do this piece I wrote called Entitlement. And it was written from a perspective of just talking and thinking about how we live in a world where a lot of people give up, still have excuses, and they end up on the brink of just feeling like they're entitled or supposed to have. That's what entitlement is. You feel like you owed something. You feel like it's supposed to be given to you. Or you're not wrong. All of that kind of piles up in that whole entitlement realm of things. But listen to this piece though. Listen to me. If I don't agree with you, that don't mean I'm right and you wrong. You see, the lines of communication and disagreement, sadly enough, is what keeps the world moving on. Fuck your opinions. Fuck your observations. When you don't know the full story, it's easy to sit on the sideline watching the judge making. We all need help. But you happy to say alone that you did it. Some people's sacrifices is bigger than yours, but you took the easy way out and quit it. Don't compare my story to yours. I guess it's the point where I fabricate growing up in the hood and how it's hard. If we wasn't given the title poor niggas, we probably would think large. We once was kings and queens, but where the knowledge went. Now we all want to be victims and looking for entitlement. Entitlement. Rap talk, that's that poem and piece. The man is entitlement. How we get to that? How we get to that? Had to check this horn, make sure we know. Top-notch business, you never know. Ain't too much with that. How we get to that point? You heard what I say. If I don't agree with you, that don't mean that I'm right and you wrong. The lines of communication, disagreement, somehow it's what keeps the world carrying on. Fuck your opinions. All right, let's see what else going on in the news. I want to elaborate and get more into this story about Van Lathan. If you want to talk about that, Adam 22. But I say again, I don't want to play the whole interview. I need to timestamp it.
I feel more.
And when they got into it.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't look like you would have that type of fun. That's too
I hate those
wholesome.
movies. I've tried to watch them a few times. I don't get it.
That's probably too wholesome fun for you. You probably out there, you want to. Well, now, saying he's a grimy
Fair
GD
use.
is a little bit. Why
He knows.
why?
Fair use, yo.
When he was here, and he said straight up, for somebody that comes from Chicago, because we did hip hop hump and I was there in Chicago seeing how things go.
Let me see.
When he said he did not want to talk about beef, why did you press him? It almost
Here we
looked
go.
like you.
Look like we get to the message.
I did watch the whole thing.
Right. How many gang-related or...
Let me stop it. Fair use. So I guess it got into a heated debate in here, and this kind of where it's starting at. So we're going to talk about Van Lathan and Adam 22. Let's get a little bit more piece of it. This is fair use, y'all. Don't be trying to, you know.
Op-related questions you really feel like I asked her?
Not that many.
Yeah, like one or two.
But he asked for zero, so why couldn't you oblige him?
Right, that's insane. If I had actually took him at his word right there, I would have probably just said like, all right, you could just drive back to Vegas and not do this interview because.
But talking about the one I was working
biggest
with.
rappers, definitely the biggest rapper of Chicago, but one of.
Fair use. Let me stop it again. They got some issues going on. It be so much going on in this podcast game. Y'all notice a lot of these. It's so many of them just break up. I mean, from black and white. It's like people just can't get along and just get the bread. Everybody wants to shine in the most time. So I get it. But then that's crazy on me to speak on that because basically, like, if you do it alone, you ain't got shit to worry about. You ain't got to worry about no type of nature of that. So I guess it is advantage on each side. The only disadvantage is when you're doing it solo. Who can you piggyback off of, especially if you ain't got no super big audience or if the comments ain't flooding in going crazy. But you're still learning how to carry your show. And that's the way I'm at with it. But I definitely open and will work with some others and have done it. But things, if things do go a different way, you should always have yourself to fall back on. But it seems like when a lot of these shows get successful, I mean, that's when all the run-ins come in. So I guess that's the guy who they talking about a little bit too. He was part of the show because I do remember, the guy not working with him anymore. So I guess that's Scooter. Come on, Scooter Ruger.
One of the biggest rappers in America had just done Academics' podcast, one of the bigger hip hop podcasts. Mm-hmm. And in that, one of the premier questions that got clipped and put on Act's YouTube channel was, why or how did you feel about Kanye doing this album and putting you and Ruga on the same thing, inviting you to the same party, the same show, etc. And Lil Durk had like a pretty involved answer where he actually acknowledged Durk's friends and family member narrative, the op narrative. That kind of he didn't say that to me beforehand. So, and when you want,
they too happy right now with each other. So I guess it's like the part where they got it too. Let me fast forward a little bit. Fair use.
People in media, nobody's gonna disagree with you. That's like, you know how many interviews have been pitched to me and somebody has said, either it be a label person or a PR person, hey, don't ask about this. And I'll say, okay, well, I don't need to have this person on. Like, if I can't ask about that, if you're going to come on here and I can't ask about that, I don't need to have this person on.
All right, let's just talk them right there. We'll get to the juicy in a minute. I guess we got to work our way to it. That's usually how I go to get to the juicy. But that's something else. But listen, let's just talk about that, though. Let's just talk about interviewing, period. Let's just speak on how people get questioned or things get talked about in interviews. And sometimes that how being asked about certain things can roll over to the streets, or people having a disposition about being asked about certain things, as far as, they don't want their character questioned, the lies, the overhyping of things. It's like all this shit is just correlated to an agenda for each person, each party. It's like even interviews is like a business agreement, which it really is before you do it. Because if you're an artist, you pick and choose which shows you want to go on anyway, who you want to basically be associated with, or so it kind of going both ways if you're really thinking about it. If you really just dissecting it when it comes to interviews, as far as the interviewer and the interviewee, it has to be an agreement. Even though the big labels, if you're going on your run for your album, you got to deal with people, of course, you don't even like or care about or whatever. And to be vice versa. Some of these interviewers, they don't really be caring for some of these artists, or they just, just doing the job. They might research them a little bit, Google a couple of things, and then recital a couple of questions and speak on some things that they really don't even care about. They're just getting through. Like recently, I was actually watching an interview with Big Bang from Big Facts, and he was actually speaking on that. He was talking about how he be tired of some of the different rappers because they lying, or it be certain things they don't want to be asked about, so it don't make for the good interview. This was on Beehive TV. See, I be watching some of these shows. Well, I ain't gonna say some of them. I be watching enough of them, a nice amount. It's like certain different podcasts I watch, and I just pick and choose. And of course, it goes through the course of the ones I click on. More than likely, it's because the guest or because the subject matter or the topic and the headline of what they're talking about. All that do grab you. So I just juggle around a little bit like most do. And some people do deserve more recognition than others because some people really do have a good interviewing style. That's the type of stuff I study. I study the questions. I study the way they catch each other in the pause moments, or who elaborate more, who can carry on the conversation. The whole reading of the body language and the tone of when a person is running out of something to say, all these different small details that comes with just studying the art of interviewing and just the culture of it, because some really out to be the best in that. You have your people that can interview real good. Then you got your people who just good at just shooting the shit with somebody who can just, 'cause that's a different style of interviewing, but it still can make for good content in a way. But you have to just know who your audience is and what they want. Because actually, in one of my latest videos, I was talking about the latest with Joe Budden going on Me and I Was Worth the Game podcast. And I was speaking on that. I was talking about how I wanted more information to come out of the interview, but they kind of basically were just sitting there just shooting the shits, just, I don't know, they're just happy to see each other or just happy who agreed on doing an episode, and that it just happened. They just forgot to get into details about certain things, or what they just, like I say, some people started just kicking it. That's what some people think the podcast is. Just kicking it, just talking. Just running off at the gap, But the structure will always make it better. In the long run, that is. But Joe Budden, I don't even lie. His audience is crazy. I don't even, man, it's crazy how he can just sit up and have people he got a cult following to where people just in tune. His episodes be like 3 hours and shit like that. And he got people who just sit up and listen for at least an hour. Out of them 3, he got people that's sitting there just listening for hours amongst hours. I thought about experimenting with that a little bit. I mean, I can say 3 hours, but I thought about, going a little bit longer on the videos. If I can get picked up in the discovery of the live stream algorithm and to get picked up, just by more people catching it because it's on longer. But right now, I was just trying to get it popping. That thumbnail I got up there now, I know it ain't probably pulling too many people in. You got the Joe Louis fist. I ain't talking about boxing or nothing, but I'm from Detroit. That came up automatically, but I was kind of rushing, but I kind of really was, because I decided to do it from a computer today. And I didn't even switch over the thumbnail. I just was trying to get as close at 6 o'clock as I could, even though I came on late. But I still pushing it out, though. I just change it after it's up. But, as the video is showing in the YouTube live stream feed, it could have been definitely a better thumbnail up. But even though they saying we're going to get to the point to where thumbnails and all that stuff ain't even going to matter as much no more. But I don't see that happening too soon, because when the video's sitting up there in the corner, it got a thumbnail on it. But as far as the live and all that, even though they play automatically most of the time now, if you notice when you scroll, some of them get the juking and going inside the video, and the thumbnail was there for maybe a second or so. But them titles got to be powerful too. But it's just, like say for instance, this video right now, and here that I'm doing, I said trending stories and some spoken word. But we talking about YouTube right now. Subjects can change, but it's all about what can draw the people in. That's why you see the titles of certain things, to draw the people in. But I'm studying this shit more as I go. I am kind of smart. So, I'm studying it, playing with it, adjusting to it. And pretty soon we're going to figure it out, and the fan base going to get bigger, and people going to be tuned in just for the knowledge and just the game, man, and the fun of it. Because we definitely getting more comfortable with it. So, shit. And just talk that shit, and the people that can relate can relate. And I definitely thank my supporters, because that word of mouth is still powerful. That shit ain't gonna play out. Word of mouth, that's the one. That shit still take people to the next level. Because when somebody else tells somebody about your shit, that's more powerful than any. That's the best advertising. It's the cheapest and the most powerful advertising. Let me find another poem in peace, though. Let me find some raw shit. I don't say some raw shit, but let me find something that's pretty fun. Not fun, but I got this one piece I wrote back. I wrote a minute back. It's called Oatmeal Beats No Meal. I'm gonna do this piece. See if you can feel this one. I thank y'all for tuning in. Share this video. Share this live. Share the video to make the channel grow. Listen to me. He was too cool to go to school, refused to open books and abide by the rules. And now he out here scamming, stressing and finessing, trying to find a female sponsor. You tell me who's the fool. She is, he is, we is. Living in a world where most expect shortcuts and handouts. NBA dreams for all don't pan out, so the corner some stand out. Living in the past, mad when asked why he didn't make it. Yeah, them old stories sound good, but it's only so long a grown man can fake it. Take it in blood, rather be a thug than punch a clock. But the feds is looking in timeless money, but that's something that he don't watch. And how can he provide with too much pride to flip a burger? Oatmeal beats no meal, but when the joke's crack, that's character murder. And hood niggas die for that, lie for that. He don't really sell no dope, but image is everything. And will he ever tell you the truth? The answer is no. Cause see, we all gotta start, finish. Who invented this system? Pride to the side, get off your ass, go out there, go and get it. You rather sit, quit, talk shit, beg and borrow. Oatmeal beats no meal, stay strong, cause today ain't tomorrow. Oatmeal beats no meal. Rap talk. That's that poem of peace. Rap talk. Rap talk, baby, drive these hoes crazy. And how can he survive with too much pride to flip a burger? Oatmeal beats no meal, but when the jokes crack, that's character murder. You hear me? Talk to me. Cause see, we all gotta start, finish. Who invented this system? Pride to the side, get off your ass, go out there, go and get it. You rather sit, quit, talk shit, beg or borrow. Oatmeal beats no meal, stay strong, cause today ain't tomorrow. You can always get it. That's the point right there. Stay strong, cause today ain't tomorrow. Whatever you're going through today, you ain't got to be going through that tomorrow. Life can switch just that quick. And at the same time, you can be eating today and wake up and be starving tomorrow. A lot of us is one phone call, one bad turn from eating again. I mean, you fill in the blanks. I mean, no matter on what level, I'm talking about legal and illegal. I ain't pushing none illegal, of course. We on positivity over here. But I'm just saying, y'all, the ones that's out there, though, you can be one wrong turn or one red light away from destruction. Well, none of this shit lasts. And the streets don't love nobody. I got a poem called that too. I'm getting to that one in a minute. Let's talk about it though. Streets don't love nobody. Streets got a mind of their own. And a consequence of his own. All that. I mean, it is what it is. It's an unfortunate situation. I just be hoping a lot of the youngest gonna still be running to it. But most of this shit that brings to the scamming and all of that stuff though. But even though it's still people out there on that tip, but they want it even quicker. They don't even want to hustle. They just want to, they rather just scam it real quick. That's what they're doing. But somehow I still gonna turn violent. You know how it goes, because when the hate shows, people have to protect themselves, or people turn to violence when they can't hustle, when they can't get it. That's what they do. That's what some do. Let's see what Van Lathan talking about. Let's try to get back to that. Let me see what
gets a little devilish when you say that you do it, and then you get them on the camera and you ask them about it.
But he did not specifically say he didn't want to talk about that. He just said
that's what he did.
And he's a liar. He did not say that he wanted me to do an interview that was entirely free of any beef-related questions. He just said that he didn't want to make the whole interview like that. So for anyone, I challenge everybody watching this to go watch it and tell me if you think that was an overtly beef-based interview. It might have been the interview the least beef-related interview that Ruga has ever done in his life. That it was the least beef-related, op-related.
Let me stop it, because like I say, I don't want to be playing too much of the interview. Like I say, fair use. We speaking and discussing this. Ain't nothing, too much involved as far as on my end, but it sounds like it's getting to the juicy. Okay, you talking about, we gonna decipher it and break it down. We got time.
Interview he's ever done in his life.
So if you're saying straight up that he's lying, then that's a different thing. But he says, hey, I didn't want, so there's 2 points. He says, hey, didn't want to talk about any beef. Then he said,
he never said he didn't want to talk about any beef. He just said, I don't want to do a ton of those questions. Okay. So I asked him about the most mainstream, well-known
talking about Dirk,
that he has addressed 10,000 times in songs.
After that,
you talking about Dirk?
Conveniently forgot.
Right.
That's not even halfway horse. It's like 5 inches.
I should have called him and told him, yo, I'm dropping it in.
Okay. What's
same end result?
What's with the new bravado? You feel different? You feel different.
Yeah.
You feel different, right? Cause you.
Oh man, it's always an excuse with it. Don't nobody want the heat. Can we just put that out there? Don't nobody want the heat. And I get it. We see what's going on with Fresh and Fit. I made a video about them too. They got what they say they get. I can't say they getting it. And it got demonetized. Don't nobody want the heat. Vlad the same way. When things happen on your platform, nobody want to take responsibility. And on one point, you can say you're not the person that said it. You're not the person that used these words. But when, like I said, when these things roll over on the streets, or when it can even be, this is how tricky and fucked up the game is. It could be questions that you avoid as a rapper that can get you in trouble. Think about that. That's messed up. But it can actually be questions that you avoid that can steer a narrative if people really want to take it that way. Because it's so many details and things that goes into when you watching these interviews or when you just indulge in just the politics of the streets and dissecting the raps and living up off an image and have to defend that when you turn it off and on, and the streets is just watching. They're looking for loopholes. They can be looking for the different hand movements when you can look nervous on camera when you're speaking about certain things. Like I say, when you avoid certain questions, it can. But these interviewers, like Adam 22, they have a narrative when they do these interviews. They know what they're going after. They have a mindset already when these people come in the room. It's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. All of this shit is just sad, and it get taken to a level to where it's like okay, it's all still being a business, and it's still some monetizing it. But let's see if we can get to the.
You out here talking your shit, you telling people to slide, you doing all of that?
Because you go through this time period in your life where you're listening to rap music and you're hearing all these dudes talk about what they're going to do, etc. And I kind of had this epiphany. All I got to do is call their bluff.
Call their bluff? Call their bluff?
Multiple bluffs.
The fuck?
I raked the chips in. I'm a poker player. I raked the chips in because the reality is that these are logical entities out here who, for the most part, behave logically.
Oh, let me stop it. Let me stop
it. You were really paying attention.
Let me stop this. Fair use again, but that's the culture vulture one-on-one admission right there. Did you hear what he said? He said, "I'm gonna call they bluff." I'm gonna call they bluff, and he said, "I gather and gain all the poker chips." He said, "I call they bluffs plenty of times." So he's letting you guys know that he knows what he's doing. But little do he know, when he's so-called calling these bluffs, these guys have people that's watching them expecting certain answers already. So when you do have an artist that's in between and being interviewed by a guy like this who's playing mind games with you already, just to see if you're going to take it to that next level, that's bullshit right there, just off top. I mean, that's a clip right there. I mean, I know I'm doing this live right now, but that's a clip right there that should catch a little steam right there. I know I got a small YouTube channel or whatever, but that bullshit right there that he just said, that should go damn near viral just because he just said it. Let me see if I can just catch it again.
So there's 2 points. He says, "Hey, they don't want to talk about ADB."
Look, yo, I'm dropping it anyway.
Okay.
What's with
same end result?
What's with the new bravado?
No, right there.
So I called multiple bluffs.
Here we go.
And I raked the chips in. I'm a poker player. I raked the chips in because the reality is that these are logical entities out here who, for the most part, behave logically, and there is not enough insanity lurking around in their brain for them to come do something physically to me. Now, if they would like to...
Oh, shit.
I'm here.
They're going to.
Sure.
What I'm saying is, the more you invite that, the more that energy gets invited,
right,
the more it's not even going to be one of those guys. If you make yourself a trophy, somebody's going to compete for you.
Somebody going to touch you.
Here I am. Standing on business.
Let me, hold on. Let me stop it again, man. Like I say, fair use. We talking about Adam 22 and Van Lathan. I don't even know. This is no jumper show, but it looks like Van Lathan is interviewing him. That's how it's looking. They going back and forth, but they chopping it up. But they covering some ground though. But it's definitely gonna be messy though. This don't look like that. I don't think they was expecting this like that. He said, I'm standing on ground, I'm standing on business. He talking about I done caused some blood. Hold on, where we at with it?
Yes, man. I ain't worried about that shit. Motherfuckers is all talk.
Look at this.
They are.
Look at
Here we go.
So, Adam, what do I? And by the way,
And they run and hide their hands after they fucking, like, after I call the bluff. It's like, oh, well, nobody's want to risk their freedom. Nobody's going to do anything. I mean, I'm not even talking about Ruger right now. I'm just talking in general.
but not even Ruger.
Right.
Because I've just seen you, like, it just seems
You,
like you're running around with a different type of battery in your back right now.
It's not even.
That's that money. That's that bread. That's the same thing Vlad did. Vlad dude, they got that chip. They know they got the industry by the balls. They got the money. That's the playing field. The playing field is having the money, having the outlet, having the bread. They can give up $10K easy for the latest person that do something stupid to be in an interview. And then they know the brothers, they know ninjas is still gonna go up there to them platforms and get that money. Look at Boosie, he's still going on Vlad, no matter what. They got a repertoire by now. He even if whatever happened with his situation, cases or whatever, Boosie came home straight to Vlad, like let's get it. And you know the numbers was gonna be through the roof. Because it all still made for content. And these guys, they got security, so they ain't, like you said, they ain't worried about nothing. They just going at it. They just picking and choosing who making the most noise, who's doing the most outrageous. We living in a world where outrageous sell. Negativity sell. Foolishness sell. Going viral sell. Everything's getting monetized for good or bad.
Not even a battery that's in my bag. If there is a battery, if there was any software installed in me, it's just realizing, like, you have nothing to be worried about.
Right, because everybody's pussy.
I'm not saying everybody's pussy. For sure, there's some real ones out there.
Yeah.
I just don't know that I'm beefing with them.
You don't think who are you beefing with?
No, nobody really.
So
nobody doing that.
So if you're not beefing with anybody, then you're not saying that anybody's pussy. But if you're saying that,
man, they
like you're not.
We go. Hold on. Let me see if we get to it. Fair use.
If you're saying that if you're into it with somebody and they're not going to do anything, then that's a direct challenge for them to do something. This is what I'm saying. Forget about all of that. Because I'm not a street nigga. And I don't think that you are either. Are you a street nigga? Because something might change.
No, sir.
You're not.
Wow. We'll get to it. It's going to be some bottom line to this. And when I say bottom line to it, because everybody's still recycling that same energy over and over through this whole YouTube streets. As far as, like I said, Doggy Diamonds, I'm gonna go watch it too. I'm gonna see how Doggy broke it down. But he was just talking about this too, like these are the ones that's running it. It's Adam 22, No Jumper. I'm looking at all the people he had up. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But those are the head front runs of YouTube and hip hop interviewing in the outlets and all that stuff right now. And it's sad. And it's sad that we have to go to them for the interviews or for the notoriety. Oh yeah, that's where we go. Okay, Bootleg Kev, that's the other one. Bootleg Kev, Trap Lore, Ross, 1090 Jake. And I don't even watch 1090 Jake. Some of them I'm not familiar with, but I have seen the name. But Bootleg Kev, I'm up on him a little bit. I'm definitely up on Bootleg Kev, Adam 22, and Vlad. So he's talking about, man, they pushing the culture full steam, but the more things change, the more they stay the same, man. And it's sad. It's sad we living in a world like this. But We're gonna see where it all push out and goes, man. I'm gonna get with y'all in a minute though. It's your man Rap Talk. Give y'all a little bit of poetry, a little trending stories. You got Adam 22 and Van Lathan, man. This is fresh and new, but we gonna see what we gonna make of this and how this all gonna play out. Get with y'all in a minute. Share the video to make the channel grow. It's your man, Rap Talk.